Hey everyone, so today we're going to be checking out the reviews for Fantasian Neo Dimension. This is a new RPG game from Square Enix, and it's actually by the original creator of Final Fantasy and also the composer who did most of the Final Fantasy games too. So I'm really anticipating this game. I feel like it could be a sort of nod to like the old school Final Fantasy games, but with a mix of some new ideas. So I'm going to look through some of the PlayStation 5 reviews. So far it has a score of 83 on Metacritic. It has 12 positive reviews and only one mixed review, 0 negative. So it seems to be doing pretty well for itself. So let's look through one of the first reviews here. So it says, Fantasian Neo Dimension is a beautiful adventure from some of the best RPG creators of all time, and they are at their best here. An emotional story combined with fun combat mechanics and an incredible atmosphere makes this one of the best RPGs of the year and well worth checking out. So we're already off to a really good start. I was kind of worried about this game because I know it was supposed to be like a mobile game in the past, and I thought, it probably wouldn't be that ambitious. It would probably just be like a really cheap kind of game, not really put much attention to detail into the story and the characters, but going from what I've heard so far, it seems like it's actually a lot better than I was expecting. So let's continue. So the next review says that Fantasian Neo Dimension is one of the best JRPGs I have played in a very long time, and that is saying a lot. Considering we've had some great releases recently, it has a nostalgic feel to it that is reminiscent of the older Final Fantasy games, almost like stepping into a time machine. The trajectory system in combat is brilliant. It has an interesting story, and the difficulty is just right where it demands strategy while remaining fair throughout. The beautiful world, made strictly from handmade dioramas, is nothing short of extraordinary, and is one of the most creative creative initiatives I've seen in gaming. Fantasian Neo Dimension does everything right for a turn-based JRPG, and anyone seeking their next great experience in the genre should look no further than this remarkable creation. So that's a pretty impressive review. I mean, saying that this is one of your best JRPGs you've played in a very long time. I mean, we've had some pretty good JRPGs out this year, so unless they have not played any of them, this game must be absolutely phenomenal. I'll be honest, I thought this was going to be more like a 7 out of 10, maybe 7.5 kind of game. People would like it but not love it, but it seems like it's really breaking expectations here. The next review says, Fantasian Neo Dimension is an excellent re-release of Hironobu Sakaguchi's great work, one that gets everything right from the story to the gameplay, including the soundtrack and visuals. Everything fits together into a high quality package that will please JRPG fans. Right, this is sounding absolutely excellent here. Another one reads, Fantasian Neo Dimension takes all the great things about classic JRPGs and finds ways to innovate on them while still keeping the innate charm and feel the genre is known for. And while there have been plenty of great RPG releases in recent years, there's something special about Fantasian Neo Dimension that melds the old with the new to create an enthralling and nostalgic journey in a unique high fantasy world that's simply a ton of fun to play. I mean, I've been looking at the combat system. It does look quite interesting because you don't just target one enemy, you can kind of chain multiple enemies together. So like I said, it's got the trajectory system, so it's like a line where you can kind of attack in a straight line or in a curve, and you need to try and target as many of the enemies as you possibly can. So it already does look really good, really interesting. So another one here, another positive one, saying that Neo Dimension from developer Mistwalker and publisher Square Enix is a fresh concept in how turn-based RPGs should be. It features deeply strategic fighting mechanics, a bevy of enemies to go up against, and a fun story to hold it together. The controls need some improving and the dialogue could probably be toned down just a bit, but the game has more positives than negatives at the end of the day. Right, so I'm going to be honest, I'm actually really excited about this game now. I'm going to have to dig more into it and possibly pick it up pretty soon. Before we end the video, I'm going to have a look at the mixed review. So it's a 7 out of 10 review. The rest of them have all been like 9s and 8s and 8.5s. So this is the only mixed review that the game has so far. It says, Fantasian Neo Dimension evokes memories of classic Final Fantasy. It's got an impeccable soundtrack, beautiful locales, and a world that inspires wonder. But it's let down a little by likeable but fiercely archetypical. I was trying to get that word right. I was like, it's been a long time since I read that word. Archetypical characters and by the numbers story. And it's let down a lot by wild and uneven difficulty spikes that make combat a source of constant frustration in the second half of the adventure. So it seems like they really liked the game overall, they just had some nitpicks. So, you know, the characters are likeable but maybe more generic in their classes. And some people said the difficulty was good. This one says it has some spikes in the second half. So, you know, I don't know if it had a difficulty mode that you can choose from, if you want to put it down if it does get too difficult. But I'm sure it won't be a problem. I'm sure you can probably grind a few levels and, you know, just sort of like force your way through some battles. I don't think it'd be incredibly difficult. But yeah, that's the only mixed review. So we're looking at a pretty fantastic review so far. So the PS5 version has an 83 from 13 reviews, the PC version has 85 from 9 reviews, and the Nintendo Switch has 81 from 13 reviews, so it's pretty strong across the board. And yeah, like I said, I'm pretty excited to check this one out now. I'm a massive Final Fantasy fan, especially the original games and the PS1 games and PS2, and I think like that was like the golden age of Final Fantasy. And I think after the creator left after Final Fantasy X, that's when Final Fantasy started to get a bit more wobbly, a bit more shaky. You didn't really know what to expect. And I think the creator went off to, you know, Sakaguchi, he went off to make some other games with his own studio. And I think it was it Lost Odyssey or something, is that right? I'll need to double check the name of that game, but I think that was the Xbox 360 exclusive. It was highly acclaimed. People said that, okay, this is the true Final Fantasy 12, not the actual Final Fantasy 12, but this is the one that people would associate with it. But I never actually played that game, so I can't really offer any opinions on it. But it's nice to see that this game still has a true essence of Final Fantasy. The fact that it is more like a classic Final Fantasy is quite refreshing. It's nice to see that they were given the opportunity to do this, and Square Enix is fully backing it. And I also noticed that you can actually switch the soundtrack up to use different battle themes from different Final Fantasy games as well. So it has a little bit of a crossover with Final Fantasy, which is really nice to see. But yeah, it looks excellent. I'm going to have to check out more of this and possibly pick it up pretty soon. So what do you guys think of Fantasian Neo Dimension? Is it a game that you're going to pick up pretty soon? If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a like, as it really helps out the channel. And if you're new, subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one.